What's up, you guys? Many of you know that my house is a 3-car garage, and I use one of the car garages for my wood shop. So let's go ahead, go in, and I'll show you around on the shop tour. It's just going to be kind of quick because nothing has really changed that much since last year, but let's go ahead and go inside. So when you first walk into my shop, basically I have this cabinet here, and I like having this cabinet because it keeps all the sawdust off of the stuff that I store inside it, so it's a lot easier to keep this clean. But on the top it does pick up a few pieces of junk every now and then, but that's normal. So in the first drawer, basically I keep all of my marking tools and stuff like that. It's just really simple. I also have a respirator in there, just kind of, it's more my measuring, marking, and kind of stuff like that area. In the second drawer, I just put my circular saw, jigsaw, Dremel, and my pocket hole jig. And then in my third drawer, basically, I just have 2 nail guns because it's just an easy place for them to go. And then in my last drawer, I don't really have a particular order for this drawer. It's just kind of like whatever I feel like should go in there. On the other side, I have my bandsaw, my planer, some empty shop rags just to have hanging around, and just in this box is just more stuff for my bandsaw. And I also have this utility light over here, but that doesn't really get too much use anyway, so that just kind of sits there. Up next is this big long table, and this is 10 feet long. I built this as one of my first few projects, and basically it really works out well because it holds my scroll saw on this end, and then I just put all my drill stuff and charging stuff right here. And then it's nice to have this big open area to bring like a big 2x4 or something like that. And I just chop it over here at the miter saw. So it's really easy. I really like having a long workspace for this because it's so easy. I don't have to hold the piece up. I can just set it on here and it supports it really well. Underneath here, basically, I just have my toolbox, screwdriver, some clamps, sanders, and just kind of paint. It's just kind of random stuff down here as well. There's not really a huge order, I'd say, but then if I head down here a little more, I have a small shop vac, I have a stool that I like to sit on when I make my videos sometimes, and I also have my air compressor, so that stuff's just kind of all out of the way. It's not really laying around in the floor space, so I can just walk around and it's all tucked away. Now if we head to this back corner, I still have some work to do back here. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do quite yet, but I put my router table here for now. I want to clear it out a little more. I just don't really have a good place to put sheets of plywood and stuff like that, so I just kind of stack it against the wall here, and it kind of clutters it up a little. But one thing I did manage to do is, earlier this year, I got some of these just real cheap and easy lumber racks, and it really helps get that lumber out of the way, so I don't really have to deal with it that much other than my sheets of plywood over here. So on the back wall of my shop, I have my lathe. I just store some of my clamps here. I kind of have a little area for my table saw stuff because my table saw is right here, so it's just real quick back and forth, not too big of a hassle. Then under here I just have some of my lathe tools that I just store right underneath here, and then I pull them out when I use my lathe. And back here I just have a big log on the lathe and off the lathe. And then I also have a grinder right here that helps me sharpen my tools. So my lathe area is kind of all organized, but my lathe isn't the best to begin with. So maybe I could get a new lathe sometime soon, but I don't really see that happening. But then back here I just have my my drill press. It's kind of tucked away and out of the way. I don't really use it that much, but when I do, it definitely does come in handy. So next to my drill press, I just have my shop vac here for now. It's not really ever in one particular spot. It's always just rolling around the shop cleaning up, and this is my main type of dust collection system for right now. I thought about installing a big dust collector, running PVC pipe up the ceilings, then just kind of have hoses that I could attach it to, but I don't really see that happening anytime in the future right now. It's just kind of, this works good enough, And what I do is I'll take like a leaf blower and I can just blow all the sawdust out of the shop at once, and it actually works pretty good. So if you have an open shop like I do with just doors right there, it's just really easy to take a leaf blower and just blow all the dust out, and it saves you a lot of time in vacuuming too. So coming off the back wall there, I have my table saw here, and I like it here because in the winter I can't really have that door open too much. So it gives me, I have a lot of room to like work sheet goods and whatnot through here. And then here I have my workbench kind of doubling as an outfeed table. They're all the same height, so I can just run stock right along. And instead of having a separate outfeed table, it's just really convenient to make your workbenches the same height as your table saw. And I don't know, it just works really well. My workbench is also the same height as my router, so I can also use that as an outfeed table, and I would really recommend doing that because basically it's just really easy, saves a lot of space, and it's always come in handy. Underneath this 4-foot by 4-foot workbench, I have a really low profile second shelf, and this would be good for somebody that has a CNC machine or something like that. They can store it under there, and you'd probably have a lot of room to work with still. Or what I use it for is, it's kind of like my drill area, my second drill area. I keep all my drill bits and stuff, extras like circular saws and stuff like that. And then I also have a few wood burning things and some more drill stuff right here. Then in the very back I have a few pipe clamps, and they store under there really well, and they're out of the way there. So one thing I might think about making in the future is a pipe or a clamp rack. And I actually had a viewer send me some pictures of his, and he asked if I could build that. So I'll probably be doing that project fairly soon because my clamps are kind of just all over the shop here, and it'd be really nice to get them all organized. So on top of the workbench, basically I have a vise that is mounted to the table, so it's really convenient if I want to clamp a piece down here. I know this isn't a woodworking vise, but it really comes in handy if I need to saw something or something like that. And I do a lot of like metal stuff on here as well, so it really comes in handy for that. And all this stuff right here is just kind of for next week's project. It's kind of where I like put the stuff, and then I kind of organize it and construct it on this table. That's why it's got like paint all over and everything. So this is a really good table, and I use it a lot. It comes in handy, and I'm definitely glad I made this one. So hopefully you guys picked up a few tips on like your workbench height or something like that. And I try to keep it really short because it hasn't really changed that much from last year. And typically these things can get really like long and boring. So hopefully you didn't get bored, and I will see you guys next week with the mini bike project. So until then, have a great week, and I'll see you then.